lived a simple life inside a model lighthouse, with everything in its place. And every day began the same way when he brushed his wooden teeth. Well, if you don't think wooden teeth need brushing, you've never had a cavity and a splinter at the same time. Next, he put a log inside his little stove to warm things up. It would get cold in here. The puppet would put a log inside it nice and warm, safe from the storm. Next he would take his duster and carefully dust his lucky seashell over there on the shelf. His routine never changed. Next he would dust the little seashell on the shelf in the corner. There. The shell reminded him of the sea when it was calm. Next, the fisherman would open wide his window to check the weather. A quiet sea tonight. Finally, and most important, every day he would work on his latest model. There, in the center of the room, a perfect model of his own little lighthouse, exact in every detail. It was nearly finished too. Only 2 pieces needed to be added to the replica. The little model cabinet and the final section of the wall. The model should be a perfect replica. There was a section of the wall missing and a model cabinet. They must have been around here, somewhere. The model should be a perfect replica. There was a section of the wall missing. Yes! Two-piece good. Now, the final touch. A tiny puppet of himself to put inside. There. Lucky this model snapped together. Now the little... Tired out from his routine, the fisherman will rest his aching wooden bones in his own rocking chair and go to sleep. And dream of models. Safe inside, where the smell of paint and glue was always fresh, where the world was simple and snapped together, the puppet would follow his routine, brush his wooden teeth, dust his lucky shell, and work on his model. Worlds within worlds, walls within walls, closing out the storm so it could never reach inside. Until one night, something changed.
catch waiting out there somewhere, but hold your hauling lines. Reports are saying a huge storm is blowing in. It might be nothing, but better safe than salvage, I always say. Coming up next, another hour of thrilling nautical news after these messages.
Every morning, the fisherman's prepared to walk inside his model lighthouse with everything in its place. And he began his day the same way. Except this morning, something felt different. Mon Dieu, the window had been boarded up. The fisherman didn't remember doing that. Even when the storm came, he was safe in here. But no two silly planks of wood were going to get between him and his routine. This would do. What was it Papa used to say? Use the right tool for the right job. Nearly there. What was this feeling? The fisherman hadn't felt like this for a long time. At last, the smell of the ocean. But outside, not the sea. He couldn't believe his wooden eyes. Outside the room was another room, a replica room. And standing in it, a huge but very familiar figure of a fisherman. And he knew that if that huge figure were to turn, its face would be very familiar. Sacre bleu! If this was what lay outside, then what was inside is... It was all there inside the model, exact in every detail. But the tiny version of himself, it was moving. He was inside the model, he was outside the model, and just who was pulling all the strings?
General alert to all lighthouses. In spite of all of our thrilling up-to-the-minute warnings, a lone boat has gone out into the storm. Lighthouse keepers, make sure your lights are shining bright. I repeat, a lone boat has gone out into the storm.
The lighthouse. The world might be folding in on itself, but only one thing mattered now. He had to turn on the lighthouse lamp high above. The life of a fellow sailor was at stake. A huge anchor blocked the only door. Whoever did it must really want to keep the storm out, or keep something in.